Now moving on to module number 2, the actual process of writing a sales page. So let's start with different formats and different styles. Because before you write a sales page, you need to decide on the format and the style. So first you can have the direct response format. It's the most versatile approach and it's great for impulse purchases and products with immediate clear benefits. Think of it as your straight line path to sale. So here's the key structure. So at first you have attention grabbing headline, focus on biggest benefit, include time frame if possible, and address the main pain point. So here you can see the biggest benefit is this miracle pouch sends rats and mice running. It doesn't have a time frame, but the main pain point is that they have rats in the house, and obviously that's a huge pain point, and that's the main pain point they have, and that's why they address it at first. And another pain point is that even the toughest rodents you can eliminate with this miracle pouch. Then the next one is struggling with swelling in your legs, calves, ankles, or feet. Get relief in just 15 minutes a day. So the biggest benefit is that you can get relief. Time frame, 15 minutes a day. And the main pain point is that swelling in your legs, calves, ankles, or feet. And also it addresses the main benefits here. Your headline needs to grab the attention and speak directly to your prospect's deepest desires or most pressing problems. The more specific you can be about the benefit in the time frame, the better your headline will perform. Now, a quick benefit block 3 to 5 core benefits, checkmark format or with like small icons and specific outcomes. So show why your solution works, why it's better than others, and highlight social proof. Each benefit should build on the last. So this is, for example, anti-snoring mouthpiece. So an objection they might have is that it might not fit in their jaw. Maybe they have a smaller than usual jaw, or maybe they have crooked teeth and they're afraid that it won't fit them. So they put it at the top. So 25 adjustable settings. So 25 seems like a lot, so it must fit them. Then it says free by technology, allows free mouth movement so you can breathe naturally, soft medical grade material. So for this one, it mostly handles objections, so they might think it might be too harsh on the teeth, it might be uncomfortable, it might not fit, and it might not work, so they address the objections. But here you can see for a different product and different sales page, you can see it highlights the benefits, so provides fast relief from edema and swelling, improves blood flow in your entire lower body, relieves foot pain and stiffness, and feel the difference in just 15 minutes a day. And another quick and simple one of the benefits is that it puts out fires quickly, incredibly easy to use, reusable, and never expires. Now, also in the above the fold section, you can have early trust building. So I mentioned the guarantee, key credentials, basic proof elements. So think of trust building as laying the foundation. You need to establish credibility early, but don't show all your calls at once. So give them enough to keep reading, saving your strongest proof or key decision points. So you can just mention the guarantee, for example, have an authority figure and say that like over 265,000 others lower product, the average rating plus how many reviews it has, where has it been seen on, any like relatable reviews, and again, how many 5-star reviews has it like collected. Now, moving on, you can have the problem amplification. So talk about the current situation, the current pain points, failed solutions, and cost of inaction. So if you keep ignoring it, or if you keep messing around with solutions that don't work, it can only get worse. And this is where you show deep understanding of their struggles, create an emotional connection by showing you truly understand what they're going through and what's at stake. So for example, here you can see a sales page lead for a hip pain product. I believe this is a hip brace. So the hidden cause of hip pain over the years, wear and tear gradually degrades the cartilage in your hip joint. It basically explains what happens and why it happens. The result, instability that allows your hip to move in a way that it was never meant to. That's where the real problems begin, because with each step you take, your hip shifts up, down, forward, and back more than it should. And every time your hip moves excessively, it irritates that already damaged joint. This constant irritation leads to inflammation, and inflammation leads to pain. And it's a vicious cycle, much like a loose door hinge that damages the frame with each swing. So basically, it explains what they're going through right now, what's happening inside their hip, and then it basically says that every movement causes more damage, and more damage leads to more pain. And also like hints that if they don't take action now, it will only get worse and worse. Then you present the solution. So have a clear introduction, mechanism explanation, key features, and the core benefits. Your solution should feel like the natural, obvious answer to the problem. Each feature needs to connect directly to a benefit that solves the problem you've identified. So here you can see that the hip moves loosely and it's like a broken door hinge that damages the door. And here you introduce the product. So we've created like a simple at-home solution to help with hip instability and pain. This innovative device acts like an extra set of hands, gently holding your hip in place as you move. So how does it work? Provides external support to your hip joint, reducing excessive movement. Takes some load off your muscles, preventing fatigue and allowing them to heal. So reduces pain by minimizing grinding and irritation, improves confidence and movement, helping you stay active. And as a result, your hip has a chance to stabilize, your muscles to strengthen, and your pain to subside. So basically, it talks about how the reason why you're not getting better is because with each movement, it only gets worse and your body doesn't have enough time to heal. But with this in place, it will make sure everything's working fine. And it also gives a chance for your body to heal. So you don't have to wear this hip brace all the time. So the more you wear it, the better it will get. And eventually you will be able to take it off and walk normally again. Now, moving away from the direct response format, we have the educational format. The educational format works by building trust through teaching. It's particularly powerful when you need to overcome skepticism or justify a higher price point. It's best for higher price products, complex solutions, new innovations, and technical products. For example, here you can see a pillowcase. So it's a pillowcase, nothing special. You might think like all pillowcases are the same. But here it talks about how your pillowcase might actually be the reason behind why you're tired, why you have dry skin, damaged hair, maybe even allergies. And then it introduces the solution and explains why it's much better, why it doesn't bring these problems, and so on. And when you leave with education, you position yourself as an expert and advisor, not just a seller. And this creates a different dynamic with your prospect. And the structure is to have an educational hook. So share valuable insights, challenge common beliefs, present new information. Your educational hook should create like an aha moment and a realization that makes them question their current understanding and want to do more. And something that's used a lot in like VSLs and TSLs is like having, like asking something like wearing hip braces relieves knee pain, right? Then you say wrong, and then you explain why it doesn't help and what's the actual solution. And here it does it in a different style. So throw that old infested pillowcase away. So do you experience these problems? In newsflash, your pillowcase is to blame. Now, moving on in the educational format, you have the deep dive. So you have the attention-grabbing headline, and now you explain the mechanism and basically explain and share all the research you have, the process, and so on. So here it says your pillowcase gets covered with dead skin cells, oil from your skin, saliva, sweat, and all sorts of other bacteria, making them a dust, mite breeding, and feeding playground. And it makes complete sense. And this can make for a dust bite paradise. These little critters are too small to see with your eyes, but they live in your bed and make a meal from dead skin flakes. In fact, material swabs from a toilet seat and pillowcase are indistinguishable. And then it basically explains in a way that completely makes sense. And then you present the solution. So connect the education to a product, show a unique approach, highlight the innovation, and present the benefits. So this bridge is crucial. This is where you connect the new understanding. So now they have learned about the pillowcase and how actually nasty it is. And you move on to a solution that makes complete sense. And this transition should feel natural and logical. So here you can see like Blissy is the best kept secret for supermodels, hairstylists, beauty experts, and so on. It's a completely natural and hypoallergenic silk pillowcase designed by our team of experts that does wonders for your hair, skin, and overall health while you sleep. And here it basically explains it in more detail. Anti-aging, 43% less friction, no toxic chemicals, and so on. Now, the third format is the problem-solution format. So you have a problem, and here's the solution. So this format excels when your prospect is acutely aware of the problem and active seeking solution. This is especially beneficial for an older audience who have like joint pain, back pain, whatever, like headaches, stomach pain. And it's about showing deep understanding before presenting your answer. So it's perfect for clear pain points, obvious solutions, competitive markets, replacement products. And the key is to make them feel deeply understood before presenting a solution. So for example, here you can see if you answer any of these, you need a Blissy pillowcase. That's following the pillowcase product sales page. For example, you can have multiple pain points here, and if they relate to anyone, for example, wake up with bedhead, they click on it and like they read the reason why it is happening. And when done right, they should be nodding along and thinking this is exactly what I'm going through. Now, as I just mentioned, the problem focus. So don't just list the problems, paint a picture of their daily struggles, and you also can explain them. So have oily or dry skin in the morning, your pillowcase is sucking the moisture from your skin, it's drying it out. Even if you put on lotions before bed, those lotions are being absorbed right into your pillowcase. So they might relate like, oh yeah, like I apply lotions before I go to bed, but like I wake up more in the morning without any difference. And this leaves your face incredibly dry, and sometimes your skin will overreact by producing way too much oil to make up for the moisture lost. And this also can be something they can relate to. They wake up with oily skin, and it's hard for them to explain it. Now, failed solutions. So address the current options they have right now, or of something they have tried already. Why they fail, the hidden costs, like what they might be missing out on, what harm they might be doing unknowingly, and common frustrations they might have. For example, with the mouse pouches. So right now you might use these mouse traps. You have to set so many dangerous rodent traps and clean the deceased rodents, which is nasty, especially if you're like a middle-aged woman. You have to set them up, and they can be dangerous. And then you have to like pick them up, throw the dead mice away, and basically replace it back and place a food on it. It can be really nasty. But with these ones, you place a mouse pouch wherever you don't want mice or rats, and watch rats flee. So you just place them and you forget about them. Now, after going through the problems, the failed solutions, you have the solution that actually works. So you present a new approach, why it's different, how it works, and clear benefits. Your solution should feel like a breath of fresh air after all the failed attempts. Present it as the natural evolution of problem solving in your space. So, for example, for this one, like this might feel very old, like have a wooden board with some like metal strap on it, and this is more modern because it's plant powered. Spend less time worrying about rodents, works anywhere, cost effective. Basically explains why it's a breakthrough formula and how easy it is to use. Then you show proof, result evidence, testimonials, comparisons, guarantees, layer your proof strategically, start with your strongest evidence and support it with a real user experience. So if you have any quotes from well-established like publications or an authority figure, show it as close to the above the fold section as you can, and then move on throughout the page with us versus them, comparisons, real customer reviews, and so on. Now the next format is, this is about how to select the right format. It's your choice of format should never be random. It needs to align with these factors. So number one is the price point. The higher your price, the more convincing is needed. So here's how to scale your approach. So under $50 products, they need shorter formats, quick benefits, fast checkout, basic proof. So think of it as a sprint. And then a product between $50 and $200 needs more detail, multiple proof points, clear differentiations, and a strong guarantee. This is like your middle distance run. You need more proof and detail, but still maintain a good pace. And for products that are over $200, you need a comprehensive content, multiple proof types, case studies, extended guarantees, and so on. And this is like a marathon if we compare it to the other ones. And you need to build a complete case and overcome all possible objections. Now, moving on to selection factors is market sophistication. So your audience knowledge level just drastically affects how you present information. So beginners need hand-holding and basic explanations. If they don't know the problem, or they're not sure why they're having the problem, and they don't know about the solution, avoid jargon and focus on simple benefits. So intermediate audiences understand the basics, but they need more convincing about your specific approach. So they might have, let's say, something as simple as knee pain. They might know it's because of cartilage wear and tear, but they're not sure about your specific like herbal pouches or your specific massagers. And then we're moving on to advanced audiences. They need technical depth and specific differentiators. They know the space well, and your job is to show why your solution is uniquely better. Now, core conversion elements. So regardless of which format you choose, certain elements must be present for optimal conversion. So one is clear value proposition. Your value proposition is the foundation everything else is built on. So it must answer these questions. What specific benefit do you provide? Who exactly is it for? How fast can I expect the results? And what makes it unique? And trust architecture. Trust needs to be layered throughout the page. Start with basic credibility markers, build throughout education and proof, reinforce with specific results, and 7 with guarantees. Every format is really just a different way of building trust and desire, and choose the one that best matches your product, price point, and your audience sophistication level.